Next, we're going to look at blurring our shadows a little bit, just softening everything. So I'll use some filters. I'll go in and add a Gaussian blur to my shadows. I'm just going to plug in like so and edit the blur and perhaps give it a bit of a larger blur width. Now, one thing I might have to do again here is re-render my shadows. I can actually see that my character is not quite touching the floor, and I know that that's a problem. If I go actually into my 3D scene, it's probably something I didn't even check. Let me just go and look at my passes. I'll look at my shadow pass. That'll give me the information I need. And if I move into a shaded mode, yeah, there's definitely a gap between my character and the floor. So I might just have to do another re-render. But the great thing about XSI is the way that the compositor is connected. All I have to do is re-render my passes, and then if I was to use the tools, reload all images, all of the images will update and recomposite automatically because I already have the composite tree built. This is a really neat feature. So I can actually keep building this tree and then replace everything at the very end. So very soft shadows. Maybe too soft here. Let's go back down to say 2 and 2. I really want to see the shadows on the ground from the bullet, so that looks good. And the next thing I'm going to actually do is probably add a bit of a blur to the muzzle pass and composite it back over top of itself again. So if I pull in a math composite node and a blur node, I'll do a Gaussian blur. I'm going to take the muzzle flash and drive it into a blur. So I get something like that, so it's totally isolated. So I'm going to enlarge that blur something quite big, let's say 8 and 8. So if you compare it to the original, it is quite blurred. I might go a little bit more. Let's go 16 and 16, or let's go quite large. There we go. Something like that. And we're going to composite that back over top of our scene. So I'll come in like that. So I'll take the result of everything, combine it back over top. So now we actually get a bit of a diffuse glow added over top of our entire scene. So it just kind of blends in the effect a little better. I could increase that blur more if I wanted to, or I could even drive it through another layer of a blur. So I could go to say 64 by 64 pixels, and I would get even more blending. I think it looks better at 32 though. Okay, I'm going to add some actually a diffuse glow to the tracers as well as blur them along their length.